I'll make no secret of this fact. Monster Hunter is my favorite game series of all time. What is it, you ask? Just look at the title, man. It's about taking weapons bigger than you are and shredding monsters the size of Chrysler buildings, then carving out what's left of their sorry carcass and turning that into a new pair of boots to go back out and do it to some other helpless creature. Monster Hunter is, in essence, a load of boss battles. And that's pretty much it. But rather than the boss fight being a few minute-long fight that tests your abilities at the end of a level, or what you've learned up to this point, these are 20 to 50 minute-long fights that will pit every bit of your monster hunting power against these massive beasties. And these beasts aren't any joke, I'll tell you that. A love tap from these monsters will send you flying clear to Russia, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you are a hunter in the service of the Commission, a group of nutballs that decided to sail on over to a place called the New World and separate themselves from their families and all knowledge of whatever the heck it is they're supposed to be doing. After you create your hunter and your adorable hunting buddy and kitten friend using quite a detailed and impressive character creator, you'll end up having a drink with a few other hunters and your handler. But while you and your possibly drunken handler are sailing towards the New World, your ship is caught on a massive bearded lava dragon, and you have to use nothing but your smarts, your strength, and a sword the size of an apartment complex to figure out the secret behind why the massive burning hunk of rock is coming here to begin with. From there, it's hijinks all the way as... well, actually, the story doesn't really go anywhere, and it's about what you'd expect. This game is not The Witcher 3, so don't expect it to be. This game doesn't care for your pitiful narratives, it has monsters to murder, and it's going to do it. The story is only there as a paper-thin excuse to have a reason for the world and areas to expand in the way that they do. So don't worry about the story too much, honestly, you won't be losing sleep over any cliffhangers. What you're really here for is the gameplay, and in this respect, it doesn't disappoint. The action is fast-paced and epic, and you have to be on your toes constantly. This isn't some pansy RPG where if you grind your levels enough, you'll be able to beat the end boss without so much as a scratch. No. This is Monster Hunter, where your armor can help you, but at the end of the day, it's your own skills, a hunter and player that will either win you the fight or result in you getting splattered across the walls. Even the tutorial monsters can beat the ever-loving garbage out of you if you get too cocky, so for heaven's sake, don't go poking them. If you've been wailing on a monster for 40 minutes and it doesn't seem like you're doing diddly crap and damage, it's probably time to upgrade your weapon. If the monster lightly coughs in your direction and you pass out, it's definitely time to upgrade your armor. Even the best of hunters can't battle tougher monsters if their armor is crap, so of course this is the major mechanic of the game. You kill monsters to make armor, to make even more armor, to kill even bigger monsters and make even more armor, and on and on and on and on and on. And there are a variety of ways in which to slaughter the cute and fluffy animals of the New World. Currently there are 14 different weapon types, all for different playstyles. If you're having trouble early on and you can't figure out why, try a different weapon. Once you find that sweet spot with a perfect blade, you'll be unstoppable. But Jay, you might be saying, how do I know which weapon to use? Well, buckle up, bucko, because here we go. A quick overview of what the heck these weapons do and which one you should probably pick. Or ignore this entirely and just run in there flailing around like an idiot. Hey, I'm not running your life. Here we go. The Greatsword. Hits like a tank, moves like a starfish, and it'll probably give your hunter a hernia. Longsword. Long reach, decently fast, great for maximum effort of screwing up your teammates' combos with your dumb trips. The Switch Axe. A bit awkward, but the damage levels can't be denied. Light Bowgun. It's useless. Move on to a real man's weapon. Hunting Horn. The real MVP. Hits hard, buffs teammates, saves everybody. A good horn main can win a battle, so don't screw with them for heaven's sake. The Hammer. You like crushing a monster's skull in with maneuverable and hard-hitting weapon with a short reach? Do you like hearing the monster's agonizing wails as all it can see is a blunt weapon of mass destruction coming after it? Then this is the weapon for you, my fellow psychopaths. Dual Blades. Speedy, floaty tornadoes of absolute mayhem. Glaive. A quick, agile weapon designed for aerial combat with a little kinsect friend to keep you company. The Charge Blade. Hard-hitting, good guard, but you practically need a diploma in engineering to figure out how the dang thing even works. The Lance. Remember when I said don't poke the monsters? Well, that's kind of all Lancers do. But that guard of theirs could take a nuclear bomb and leave with their hunters just fine and dandy. Gun Lance. It's the lance, but with a tactical nuke attached. Sword and Shield. Decent damage and can mount pretty well, but it can't block worth anything. The Bow. If you want to go a Legolas on the monster, this should do the trick for you. Heavy bow gun. Combat is fun, fast, and fluid, and no fight will go the exact same way twice. Every monster has its own set of attacks and telegraphs, and believe me, if you don't want to end up a burning hunter pancake on the ground, you'll be learning those attacks pretty quickly. But don't be thinking that you'll just be breezing past these monsters once you learn their attacks. Oh no, buddy. If you're gonna make it past them, they're gonna make sure you pay for it. Most monsters have at least one dumb, cheesy attack that will either A, have a hitbox the size of Alaska for an attack that can wipe the floor with you, B, be spammed endlessly until you are lying stunned on the ground, or C, take up the entire area and one-shot kill you. Isn't the new world just lovely? Combat isn't quite the only thing you'll be doing here. You'll also be gardening for materials, gathering even more materials because heaven knows the other 100 flash bugs you have aren't enough for this battle, taking care of your kittens, saving the life of this twerp. There is a lot to do, but at the end, it does all just come down to the fluid and intuitive combat system and the star of the show, the monsters. As I said before, these monsters are all so uniquely designed with so much love and care and so many varied attacks, and they're all just so very, very different. Hey, why does that Radabon thing look so familiar? Wait, is it Aragon? Wait, you're a Totus, but that's just the Lavasiath with mud. Okay, this is literally just the Great Jagras, but what is this? Capcom? What are you doing? Capcom? These creatures range from anything from a pink fuzzy T-Rex to a ticked-off unicorn with the power of Thor that can annihilate you in a single shot. Other than a few creatures, the monsters are all varied, beautiful, and interesting, each one interacting with the ecology of each section of land in their own way. Each one has different hunting patterns, nests, favorite prey, even predators that they can get into turf wars with. Every biome within the game contains monsters and small endemic life to the point it actually acts and feels like a real ecosystem. I'm not even kidding, it's kinda ridiculous. You could spend hours just roaming around these areas watching how the monsters interact, their feeding habits, how they care for their young, and work with the environment around them. And the biomes are just as varied as the monsters, each having their own weather, special areas, and indigenous species. Some of them are exceedingly imaginative and unlike anything I've ever seen, my favorite being the Coral Highlands. And there are even more on the way. With free monster updates coming and a massive paid DLC expansion pack, there will be a ton more content in the amazing world of Monster Hunter coming very soon. All in all, with a flexible combat system, interesting monsters, tons of stuff to gather, one of the best and most friendly gaming communities I've ever been a part of, tons of new content, and bone-crushing difficulty, I can't do anything but recommend Monster Hunter World as much as I can. The only downside is that it is still pretty hard for a lot of newbies to get into, and I can understand the people that just can't quite grasp it. It is hard, but once you get the hang of it, there's no going back. So here's a few tricks to make sure that you don't die horrendously the second you step out there. Number 1, eat. Always, 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 always eat at the dang canteen before every single hunt. Pay attention to the Palico buffs and learn what each one does, as they can be the difference between success and failure in a fight. Also, if the angry-looking kitten over here says for you to do a chef quest, then get that sucker done as quickly as possible, since that's what's going to be doing the upgrading of your mess hall. Number 2, decorations. I cannot stress enough how important mixing up your armor sets and decorations are. Yes, this is one of those games where you basically have to have spreadsheets lined out for optimal builds. Or, I don't know, just look it up online. I'm not judging, do what you want. But decorations can change your entire fight in the blink of an eye. Some are the best things you've ever had, others are about as useful as a shoe without a sole, but it's up to you to figure out which is which, so get crackin'. Number 3, don't be afraid to ask for help. The Monster Hunter community is ridiculously friendly, and veteran hunters have been known to just straight up adopt newbies who need a helping hand. And when in a quest, if you see that the monster is beating you to a bloody pulp, just send up an SOS flare and pray that someone bothers to show up before you get turned into monster lunch. Some monsters, like the arch-tempered ones, are designed to be taken on with people, so if you can't do it yourself, don't feel bad, call for help. Chances are no one will show up anyway, so what can it hurt? Number 4, keep your kittens upgraded. These little fellas may look like they can't do a lot, but you'd be surprised at just how powerful your little Palico can be. Giving them proper weapons and armor is crucial, especially to a solo hunter. Upgrading them also involves talking to the Grimalkins, wild cats that can give your Palico special gear, weaponry, and extra abilities, including healing items. You'll have to do some errands and a quest or two to gain the Grimalkins' trust, but if you do a lot with your cat and fight with it often, it's worth it. Palicos won't come with you on a quest that has any more than 2 hunters in it, but if there are too many people in the quest, your Palico will automatically go home and train to become even more powerful. But seriously, don't leave those cute little fellas behind. They know what they're doing. Number 5, Don't trip up your fellow hunters. Your attacks in-game can't actually deal damage to other hunters, but it can and will trip them up, which ruins their combo attacks and keeps them from dealing high damage. You can trip someone up just by hitting them with your weapons. So I'm looking at you, longsword mains. If you have a bladed weapon, head towards the tail of the monster so you can slice the tail off and get that extra loot from carving it. If you have a blunt weapon, like a hammer or hunting horn, go towards its head. So, dual blades do not belong at the head. Guys, please, for the love of everything good in the new world, go to the tail. Blunt damage to the head will break more parts, deal more damage, and knock down the monster a lot quicker. So let the hammer mains do their thing. And if you have a bow, for the love of Fatalis, please stop shooting the glaives out of the air. They need to fly. Number 6. Pay attention to your armor skills. Every set of armor comes with a lot of armor skills that can change a fight drastically and make you borderline overpowered if you have the right ones equipped and some good decorations. As I mentioned earlier, decorations can give you new skills and upgrade your current ones, so be on a sharp lookout for them. And stay away from the Elder Melder, okay? Likelihood is she won't give you anything good, you'll just waste the decorations you already have. So Monster Hunter is an incredible game with an amazing combat system, depth to its crafting and armor systems, beautiful landscapes, and interesting monsters. There is so much thought to this game on nearly every level, from the careful way the Rathian approaches to the way the Omen flies glow red when large monsters are near. Every bit of the game is designed to make you feel like a hunter, like you're really the one learning so much about these creatures and their world. The game has such an immersive feeling and weight to everything, its weapons, your hunter's movements, and yet still somehow manages the feat of being solid and interesting while still being very light-hearted and not taking anything all that seriously. It has cooking cats, for heaven's sake. Even if you played the old games and couldn't quite get into them, give Monster Hunter World a chance. It's a stunning adventure, and I'm sure you won't regret it. Until next time, have fun hunting.